So, thanks for asking. I had a really happy childhood. My dad used to put me in tyres and roll me down a hill. Those were good years.
Oh. Oh. Ow.
Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the Black Dog Podcast version 2, episode 37. I am Lee.
I'm Darren.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Elton.
And this week we'll be seeing how everyone's week's been. We will then have a little bit of feedback for Stan and Ollie, which was last week. And then we will be moving on to this week's film, which was Jim's choice, which was
Eddie the Eagle.
Eddie the Eagle, yes. Another one of our true life tale biography thingies, which has become an impromptu season for the beginning of the year. Biography month. And then after that, we will have a battleship sequence, whereby I have to pick from one of about 20,000 fucking suggestions from you guys out there, from Twitterverse to the Facebook page, because I made a mistake and said, does anybody know of any good true life stories? Quite a few came in. So I've made up a grid that looks like a sort of security card for Jet Set Willie. Deep cut for those of you born before 1979. Right, so anyway, we'll get going and we'll see how everyone's week's been, and we will start with you, Elton. How's it been, sir?
It's not been a bad week per se. I've spent most of this week trying my hardest not to buy a video game.
Ooh,
and
go on.
I haven't bought the video game, but it's one of them games where I know if I buy this and purchase this off of Steam, I will lose years to it.
Go on.
It's very much like Minecraft, but it's called Stormworks.
Right.
Right.
And you have a creative mode and a game mode on this.
Yeah.
And the idea is if you play the game mode, then you can do search and rescue via helicopters, planes, boats, etc. But you can also tweak your vehicles and upgrade and get more money. And it's one of them grinding procession games where you can upgrade to certain things. But it is so complicated, but it's a very much on the side of engineering as well, because I've watched a couple of people's YouTubes just to see if I would like this game. And I thought, okay, this seems like a little bit of me, bit of engineering, I can dig that. And I watched someone build a boat, and he built it from the hull up. He made the hull, and then he put his engine in, and you have to plumb the engine in correctly. Then you have to put all the gearboxes in correctly. Then you have to put all the fuel tanks in correctly. And if you don't do this right, it won't run.
Okay.
Once you've got all that done and colour-coded and in the right orientation, then you have to wire it up.
What?
Yeah. And then he started putting all these dials in, and this dial does this, and this button does this, and if you click this button, then that puts it into a different gear. And I thought, okay, this is getting a bit too much. And then he started putting dials in, which you can put in. And he said, right, you can have altimeters and speed and clutch engagement and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm going to lose years to this.
Wow.
And I got home yesterday and I was like, I wonder if it's on mobile. And it's not. It's not on mobile. I was like,
No.
sat there with my Steam account open, looking at it, and it's like 20% off. I'm like, no. 'Cause if I click that buy, then that is goodbye for everyone else. Goodbye, family. Goodbye.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it right now. Distant lights and corner pipe joints as an extra plug-in. Jesus.
It looks incredible. And some of the stuff that people have built are amazing. Some of the boats I've seen look, and the physics are incredible as well. So I saw a video of someone having an oil tanker, and they wanted to know if they could actually break the oil tanker. And in in like the free play type arena where you can just build anything. He took this oil tanker out into the middle of the sea, and then all of a sudden turned up the wind, and then you had massive rolling waves, and he was managed to split this oil tanker in two, and then the physics takes over, where then you start sinking like the Titanic. And start bobbing up and down, and then if you open a door, then you let water in, and then you're really fucked. And if you're stuck inside, you can't get out. It's incredible. It looks. Imagine. I think like Minecraft was like a meter by meter block. I think that's how it worked.
Right.
Imagine shrinking that down to centimeters. Now you have like the scale of this game.
Okay, because if this was Thunderbirds, I'd be right on it.
There's no reason why you couldn't build Thunderbird 2 in this.
Oh, okay, sold.
You can build rockets.
Danger Will Robinson.
That's it. I'm done.
You can build rockets. You can build trains. You can build planes. You can build automobiles. You can build boats, submarines, everything.
What's the actual point of this game? I mean, I think you've got all this in it, but what
search and
outside
rescue.
of that?
Search and rescues. So you get given scenarios where, let's say, a dog is stuck on an island, and then you have to get on your boat, drive over to the island, pick the dog up, bring him back. Well done. You earn 100 points.
I could just see Lee with his Thunderbird 2 going in to rescue a cat from a tree and drops Thunderbird fucking Thunderbird thought, oh, it's a sub. Oh, shit. Oh, sorry, missus. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You never saw it. We're out. We're insured. Thank fuck for that.
Wow.
Now you've said someone has built the Millennium Falcon in this as well.
Oh, my life.
It looks incredible. But now you've said Thunderbird 2. Yeah, that's worth the 15 quid just to sit down for 3 weeks and just build that, innit?
Yeah.
Oh, man alive.
Yeah. I'm looking at all the reviews. They're all saying the same thing. You know, there's a bloke here who sunk 341 hours into the game, which is second only to 10 hours. It's like, wow. It's
wow.
It does look incredible, and I think it's been around for a little while. I've only just bounced onto it this week.
Very positive reviews. 936 very positive reviews. Yeah. That's recently and there's 13,700 reviews from purchases that are all very positive.
But it's all the mechanics that go with it. There was a boat that someone built, and it's a very simple boat, but he was explaining what was going on, how the propellers work, and how you keep the engine cool. You have like an inlet which lets seawater into your engine and cools it, and then it sends out the hot water back into the sea. And if you don't have that connected, then everything heats up and blows up. And it's just, okay, I really like this, but I don't know how I can justify disappearing from my family for this. Because that's what would happen. I would get home and then just do this.
Yeah.
And I'm really worried. So I've been jonesing for it. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube on it just to see what it's like. And as soon as this guy mentioned, well, actually, you can have like a meter here and a meter here, and you can change the colour of this bulb to green if you want. And I was like, oh, I need to step away from this. But it looks incredible.
Yep. I'm actually looking at a YouTube.
Yep.
Of someone who has actually built Thunderbird 2, and it works.
Oh my word!
It's got internal doors. It's got things you can lift. It's got cranes, extra bits and bobs.
Yeah, it was someone. I saw someone build a rocket, and then it got to a certain height, and then it jettisoned off of its side boosters. It just looks amazing.
Though there are people complaining already that it's the Thunderbird 2015 version, so obviously that's rubbish. God bless the internet. I hasten to add it wasn't me. Before anyone brings that up.
Cartoon Beardy says, "Who is this Cartoon Beardy?"
Yeah, it says, who the fuck's you building a 2015 version? Where's the classic, god damn it? Says old man shouting at cloud.
Yeah, but
12-year-old builds Thunderbird 2. Go on.
I think I could lose so much time in this.
Very much so.
It's a very dangerous purchase because of all the stuff you can buy. I know in Minecraft you can build rudimentary AND gates, NAND gates, NOR gates, and all these sort of systematic things. But then you have these to your fingertips where you can make all the electricities work. So if you press a button and another button, then something else will work. It's just too much.
So we'll be getting a report back next week about how your search and rescue in the North Sea was going, yeah?
Next week, it'll be me very tired, not getting much sleep, and going, I'm the best. Oh, what was that film? Oh, there was a search and rescue film, wasn't there?
We wouldn't just be getting a note just saying, Elton is very poorly this week, signed my mum.
Will not be attending the podcast.
Oh, I'm trying to think of his name now. Ashton Kutcher. There was an Ashton Kutcher film, Search and Rescue.
Oh, well, then that'll be why I don't know it, mate. That will explain it in a nutshell. My knowledge of Ashton Kutcher films are right up there with my knowledge of Uwe Boll films.
Yeah.
Yeah, not very much.
If anyone has bought this on the group, let us know, because I'm very interested on should I waste a couple of years of my life on this or not.
Hey, Lee, you need to get this, mate.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
And then when they offer you a mission, right, where somebody's car's broken down, or like the A4, go rescue him in Thunderbird 5. Right?
What, from space?
Yeah. Just drop the space station on them.
Nice.
Well, I turned up, didn't I?
I arrived. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I might look at that as well. But I'm not entirely sure that's a wise move.
We're so glad everybody's enjoyed the return of the Black Dog. It was a nice run while it lasted.
No. I've got to save myself for March 12th. That's when I disappear. That's when I leave the Earth for 120 hours.
Why is that then?
Well, it's the remaster launch, mate. That's it.
It's that remaster.
That remaster. That game I've played so many times I could probably recite it backwards, but I'm going to see it in blimey crikey high definition.
Minesweeper. Jesus,
that's
man.
the one. Solitaire.
Leisure Suit Larry, 40k edition.
40k. Heresy. Who says heresy?
Isn't that like Warhammer, but with the carry-on cast?
Yeah.
Get your slide whistles out.
The crossover. It's not a crossover we need. It's a crossover we deserve.
I'm the Eternal Emperor, and I.
I've got me bolter out. Ooh. Oh dear. Anything else, sir?
No, that's it. That's just
Okay.
avoiding games.
No, don't avoid it. Go do it. We give you permission. We all want to know, don't we? Everyone wants to live vicariously through you, mate.
I will build a fucking lift. I don't want to do that. I will fucking kill myself. I know I will.
It was called Stormfront, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Stormworks. Not Stormfront might take you somewhere very different and get you on a list in the current climate. Careful.
I was going to say, Stormfront is the evil lightning lady from The Boys.
Stormy Daniels.
Right,
that's what it was called.
Stormy Daniels. Yeah.
Stormworks. There we go.
Oh, well. Oh, Darren's Craft Corner in Stormworks. That could be funny.
We should do a Stormworks podcast and bollocks to it. Bollocks is film nonsense.
Yeah, let's do it. What did you build this week, Darren? Well, I built this banana-shaped helicopter. Yeah, heli donkey.
Heli donkey.
What the fuck is a heli donkey? This is a heli donkey. Oh, yes.
It's more beautiful than they could have imagined.
Oh my god, somebody's built a fucking transformer.
What one? A power transformer or an Autobot style transformer?
I don't know. Well, actually,
It's a
A Lou
1995
Reed
one.
transformer? That'd be
actually,
impressive.
It's like a Pacific Rim style mech. Actually. Oh, there's loads of. He's
Get
built,
back the
he's
chocolate
built a good
aces
few.
there. Anyway.
Yeah.
Holy
You
shit.
got to be careful, Jim. Then this doesn't translate out the green room.
Oh my
Anyway.
God.
I found the Thunderbirds 2 and Thunderbirds 1.
Oh God. Right. Okay. So grown up Lego then is what we're talking
It
about.
is
here,
basically
aren't we?
grown up Lego, but it's amazing.
Oh God. Okay. No, back away from the grown up Lego. Back away from the grown up Lego. Maybe.
It reminds me of that old Spectrum and Commodore game, Cyclone.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but like Cyclone
God.
plus Minecraft. Oh God. It's like
Oh lordy,
crack,
lordy.
isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh my God.
Wait.
Somebody found a megalodon in the game.
Yeah,
And
they
it-
have megalodons.
Why would? Oh, I suppose for the rescue element, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm just thinking we could build our own Red October.
Yes, we could.
I don't think we have enough computing power for that. To be honest, I
There
think
aren't
we'd
enough
need-
bricks.
No, we'd need to have a server purely for just the front, and then another server for the con tower, and then at least 15 other servers just to get you midway down.
Oh my.
And then you might need to sort of get
And then there's
Google
the zoo.
Cloud on the job. Exactly, and then there's the 6,000 person stadium plus ski jump area.
Somebody's built a helicarrier as well.
Oh, good lord! Right, okay, stop this nonsense. Otherwise,
We're just
stop
going to
that.
sit here looking at these models.
Yeah, I was going to say everyone's sitting there listening to us go, God, look at that, which translates really well in podcast terms, doesn't it? Look at that! Isn't that amazing? Look at the graphics on that.
Oh my good.
Yeah, maybe we do need to do a video podcast from here on in. Anyway,
Oh wow! Sorry, I'm looking
Right.
at more of these stuff, but yes, carry on. Sorry.
go on, off you go. So, moving on, Jim, how's your week been, sir? And don't say Stormfront because I'll cut you off.
That'll be next week.
Yeah, that'll be next week. Yeah.
Quite probably, yes. It's been a bit up and down. I was on the good side of things. I was very pleased. I resurrected a very, very old little machine of mine,
Oh yeah.
literally from, I think I got it 2008. It's a Samsung
Right.
netbook.
Oh my
Wow.
word. Okay.
And N130.
Right.
Ancient. And yeah, I mean, it literally has been around the world with me. And, I posted podcasts and blogs from various places. I mean, I could keep on working. It was, just about the size of a tablet, quite much thicker than a tablet, being old kit. But I've never really got rid of it. And kind of, I just thought, I just want to kind of resurrect it and maybe just turn it into like a little game to run an emulator on, so I can play old Spectrum and Commodore games on just something handy with a built-in keyboard. I mean, I can do it on the PC, but that's not kind of ideal for sitting around in the lounge, to be honest. 'Cause it's a bit heavy to carry downstairs. And on a tablet, you've got to really put a Bluetooth keyboard on, and that's a faff. Whereas this is, little netbook, perfect.
Yeah.
So I successfully wiped the hard drive, installed Linux Mint, and it actually fucking works again. Whereas before, it used to boot up, but it was just kind of like press a key and it might register in about a minute, kind of.
Right.
But, it's never going to be the fastest machine, but, I can browse the web. It'll run GIMP.
Right.
I edited a video on it.
Bloody hell.
I know. Only a short one. I was just doing just fucking around testing a few consoles. But even so, it did it, and it was workable. And it's kind of, I was really pleased because, that machine is Christ, it's like 12 years old and it's back from the dead.
There.
And Linux Mint is very friendly, quite easy to use, not that different from other operating systems. There's a couple of things you need to look up now and again and go, okay, this is different, where's that? But other than that, it works like a charm. So I was really pleased, you know what I mean? It's like,
Nice.
my little servant is back.
Yeah. With his little Intel Atom processor. Oh,
Yeah, absolutely.
bless it.
Yep.
Oh,
Got it running
wow.
Doom. Yes, that's what I need from a
Oh my
computer.
That's the test, isn't it? Can it run
It
Doom?
is. Can I run the original Doom? Yes, I can. This is a workable machine.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's a miracle worker, and it's got a little SATA connection, so you could probably stick a little SSD on that and bring it right up to
Absolutely.
speed.
Yep.
Nice. Oh,
So that was
bless.
good. On the not so good front, we have been having a somewhat stressful run of days.
Yeah.
Now, it's a dog story, so be warned. Our little dog, basically, her hair's got quite long, and we've been looking for a couple of months to try and get a groomer who will give her a trim and sort her out. Now, unfortunately, a lot of dog groomers people come around your house, and they tend to be very nice people, but when you hear, well, we've got a rescue dog, and she does some issues, it's kind of... You never hear back from them, or they go, "Oh, I don't really know." And it's kind of, well, if you don't really know, I definitely know you're not getting the gig here.
Yeah.
And she has, generally at first being, we can brush her a fair bit, not everywhere, but more and more. But it is just too long now, and just since sort of January, it started. It decided to get a bit matted here and there. Nothing serious, but it needs to be done.
Yeah.
And luckily, we found at the veterinary register, literally, they've just took on a new member of staff who is set up as a groomer in-house in the vets.
Nice.
So we got an appointment because she needed to check up anyway, being a new dog. And we wanted to, meet her and, see what she thinks and blah, blah, blah. So we sort of took her out, and me and Teresa were both dreading it because it's because obviously with COVID you can't go in.
No.
With her, they meet you in the car park and just take your animal away into the vets, and you hang around outside.
Oh,
and
God.
it's kind of like, oh, will she go? Is it going to be? I had visions. Well, I had two visions. I had one of just this like little face and paws at a glass door going to being dragged away, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then another one of just like sirens and flashing lights and people all running out covered in blood, missing limbs, where she's got apeshit and bitten everybody.
Yeah.
And Skullface is there as well.
Yeah, Skullface.
Yeah. Exactly. But anyway, we got there, and a lady came out. And she just, without just as she talking, she just literally reached out, took the lead off Teresa. The dog looked at her, and she just walked in with her good as gold.
Yeah,
couldn't believe it. But she had a good home once, and obviously she knows the vets. I mean, she wasn't happy because her head was down, her tail was down, but she just very calmly just walked in with the lady, and was good as gold. They let her lift her up, let her examine her. No one got bitten.
No, that's good.
And she was really pleased when she came out. Now, the state of play was because she has issues about being touched around the neck where she's been mistreated.
Yeah.
On her collar, we have like a tag that extends it so you can clip the lead on, but it's not near her neck. And we had a new collar because the one she came with was getting a bit raggy. It needed to be changed. And, I said to the groomer lady, we're a bit nervous about doing it. Can you put the new collar on? She said, yes, fine. Now, she brought her, when she came out, pleased to see us, great. Yeah, we're going out, brilliant. No, you took me to in a bad place or any of that. No sulking. Good, brave dog. But unfortunately, they changed the collar, no problem. But they took the tag off with the lead. They took the tag off and it's like, Now, we have accidentally before unclipped the tag, and we have got it back on. But unfortunately, we went to take her out for evening walk Friday night. She would not let us put that tag on.
Oh, shit.
And we've still not got it on several days later. And we go near it, she just... because the actual ring is just under her neck, we can't get near it. She'll sit, I want to go for a walk. But once you get to a certain point, it's like she has a flashback.
And she doesn't want to know.
Yeah, exactly. And so she wants to go out. So it's been really difficult. But we're talking to our trainer from the Dogs Trust who suggested various things we're trying. And it's kind of... The thing is, like, we she had the checkup, and the lady said, "Oh no, it's fine." And she said, "Well, you know what we'll do, because she's nervous. We'll have another appointment, and actually they will give her a little sedative, and then they will give her a proper good clip and sort it all out, and she'll just have a nice clip, and she'll be fine."
Yeah.
But of course, now I can't put a lead on her to take her to the fucking vets to get a clip.
Oh God.
So it's kind of the thing with the dog rescue dog is kind of dogs are kind of very sort of tidal in their feelings. When they get stressed, it sort of go quite quick, but it takes time to come down. So like today, we've not tried to do anything, put the lead on or anything at all. So just let her chill out, and and you know what I mean. It's kind of, we're hoping either we've got like a new lead, like a slip lead, that'll just hopefully we'll get it over her head, maybe to take her out, or she's fine with me actually touching her neck at the back. And the last couple of days, I've spent a lot of time, she's just been sat on the sofa, cuddled up with me as she likes to, being stroked. And I've touched the collar loads, and she's not bust. So it is kind of, I think I'm just swizz it round, maybe probably little by little. I've moved it a bit today, and just root it around till it's the back of her head, and they'll be able to get that fucking tag back on. But it's just such a slow frustrating
process
thing. I know. I mean, I'm a bit worried because she keeps asking to go out. She doesn't understand why she can't. Although she does, we have tried a couple of times, and she's, gone to bite us, and then she knows she's done it wrong. As soon as she's done it, her head comes down, she comes up and she puts her head on your lap, and it's like, "Oh God, I'm sorry. I don't know why I did that. I can't help it." You know what I mean? And it's really heartbreaking. If I met the people who've had her for 4 months before us who fucked her up, I would fucking break their limbs, I swear to God. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Because she's such a good dog, and she's got this stupid trauma. But, with love and patience, we'll get there. But it's been...
You will.
I mean, the thing is, she's, apart from being a bit confused, why can't I go out, like for a walk, she goes in the back garden, does a bit, she's fine, she plays, she has her playtime in the house, she has all her meals, all her treats, she gets patted and stroked. She's having the time of her life, it's not much different from her. Me and Teresa fucking, like, on the roof, stressing our heads off. But you know what I mean? It's kind of like, she's kind of... But because we're stressed, when we go to do it, she picks up on it, so...
Yeah, well, that doesn't help either, does it?
No, so it's probably going to be still a fraught week.
Yeah.
But,
slowly but surely, though. You just take it easy. Take it
exactly.
carefully.
That's all you can do. But,
Oh.
But it's, once she gets clipped, though, it'll be a lot better. You know what I mean?
Because she'll be more comfortable anyway.
Absolutely, and the hair, she'll be able to see better, she'll be less wary, and we can sort of make more progress on getting her used to being groomed, because it won't be, sort of worrying about pulling the long hair and stuff like this.
Yeah, just do it as you go, sort of thing. Yeah,
but we've come a long way, considering when we got her, you could come up and sit with her back to you, and you were allowed to pat the back of her neck. Once or twice, then she'd walk off, and she'd had enough. I mean, now, she spent most of today snuggled up next to me, and actually being asleep with my hand over her belly, stroking the back of her head.
Nice.
And if I stop, she looks up and goes, "I didn't say you could stop."
Yeah.
So, and that almost, when we've been playing, almost taught her to do paw, and she'll give you your paw. Almost got that now. And so, we've come a hell of a long way in, just probably about 4 months this week we've had her. So,
yeah.
But, we knew this would be a hurdle. And ironically, it's kind of what I'm kicking myself is I should have fucking said, "Leave that tag on, motherfucker."
Yeah.
And it's like, damn it. Because I know now, I mean, I was having kittens about taking her to get clipped. But actually, I know she'll be fine getting clipped. It's been done at a vet's not by some,
Some
hippie
idiot
lady
with
with
some
scissors, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she's good with the vet. She knows what to do at the vet, and she behaves. And she's not asked about the vet. She doesn't like it, but she'll tolerate it and won't sulk about it. So, fucking hell, kicking myself, mate, kicking myself.
Never mind.
Anyhow,
You live and learn. It's only
You
been
do.
4 months. She's get used to it all, isn't she?
Well, that's it. I mean, she's such a good dog in every other way, and it's just with touching her, it is just now just that area under her chin where she freaks out. Whereas before, if you pat the top of her head, she might have gone for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, a lot of progress, but it's been a difficult few days.
It's been a thing.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
Oh dear. Oh well. Anything else, sir?
No, I'll leave that there.
Okie dokie. Righty. Oh well. Well, hopefully everything gets sorted out, and I'm sure we'll get an update next week and
Quite
find
probably,
everything's
yes.
fine. Or you're missing a finger. One way or the other.
One of the
two. Okay, so it's on to Mr. B. How are you, sir? How's your week been?
It's been full of cooking and stuff. I've been trying to
blimey.
expand my cooking skills. You see,
Okay.
I'm doing quite well.
Yeah?
Doing very
You up to a tin of beans yet?
well.
Or what?
Well, hold on, steady on, mate. Come on. This is
Yep.
it. It's like, I've gone from putting stuff in the microwave to using the oven instructions now. So
Oven instructions.
The oven instructions is that's a bit of a leap, what is it? Is it a fan oven? Is it a normal oven? I don't know. Let's read the manual.
Turn it on if you can hear.
Yeah.
It's a fan oven.
There you go. It is a fan oven. Oh,
Is it posting sarcastic comments about new episodes on the internet? It's a fan oven.
It's a fan oven.
Oh.
Yeah, but you see, I come away always feeling sick when I use it, so it must be a toxic fan oven.
Oh, God.
There you go.
Oh, God.
And it's shaped sort of like a half circle, so it's a toxic fan dome oven.
Brace, everyone. Brace. Incoming. Brace for impact.
Oh,
Too much
God.
information.
God.
That was. I could hear the scraping from here. Anyway.
Oh, God. Right, okay.
Yeah. So not done too badly. My skills are expanding. I'm getting a little bit braver every time I try something.
Yeah.
So and everything's gone off wonderfully so far. I'm just waiting till I see which one's going to be the major disaster.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah.
Go for a lasagna. That's always fun.
Is it?
Cause, well, you got to do a number of things. You got to make the bechamel. You got to cook the meat sauce.
Right.
You got to stick it in the oven afterwards as well. Double wham, triple
Do the
whammy.
layers.
That is.
The layers. That's
Do the
tricky
layers.
bit.
Yeah, get the layers in. Do the layers.
Or as
Leave it to
Mary
soak
Berry
for-
says, layers.
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 Because she's getting layered.
Yeah, she's layered. Or Larry.
For those of you overseas, it's a slang term meaning getting angry or starting a fight. I'm getting a bit layered, bit leery.
Bit layered.
There you go. And today on What the Fuck Are They Talking About?
Indeed.
Explaining a joke. So give lasagna a go. That's a good one.
All right,
that's a good one.
That's one of my next plans then. In
Your
that case.
your kitchen will be on fire before you know it.
I'm sure it will. Let's see, what else have we done this week? Well, it really has been quiet. I tried. I went onto Disney Plus and I tried watching some old animations. So like some old superhero cartoons.
Oh yeah,
Right.
like the Fleischer stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll just reel it in a bit there. Not that stuff. Not as skillful as that.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
talking about Spider-Woman, the TV show. And then it's like, I've never seen this before. And then I watched it, and after about 5 minutes, I realised why I'd never watched it. And then I switched it off and, just, can I clear that from my playlist?
No, you
'Cause,
cannot.
this is pretty. What is she? What are her powers? Oh, I don't think they quite know, do they? Nope. No, not at all. And Spider-Man's in the first episode. How has he turned up in the Middle East just out of nowhere? Something just spontaneously happened, and Spider-Man's just appeared there. Okay, yeah. I think this is going back in the cupboard there, back out.
Is it the old era where it's just like no, limbs don't bend; they just twist at the shoulder.
Yeah, it's the same period as the Spider-Man animated series from the 70s and 80s. You know, Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Where Spider-Man talks like this.
Yes.
Yes,
exactly,
my spider sense is tingling. And it's always the same shot of him swinging towards the camera. And that bit where he's swinging through the air doing that, like, you know, that thing. So, yeah. So, yeah, probably won't be going back to Spider-Woman at all. Leaving that well alone. Well alone.
Right.
And on the game front, this week I perchanced to go into the Xbox Gamer Pass that I've got. Yeah, I've installed Torchlight 3.
Okay.
And yeah, I've been playing it for a couple of days, and I can't stop playing it. And it's just a, you know, for a kid's version of Diablo, it's all right. It's all right. Although I'm getting rather attached to the pet that they give you. Right, I can't bear to change him to like a dragon or anything. They give you a golden retriever to begin with, and he's all happy and bouncy and stuff like this. He's called Bud, and he goes in there, he attacks the enemy, and I get really kind of offended when he gets too damaged. I get quite angry. You leave Bud alone, you fuckers.
Back off. Yep. That's my golden retriever, you fuckers.
Here,
Get your own Andrex.
Have the super fire fucking piercing arrows, you cockheads. Take that.
And that one's for your mother.
Indeed, in your face.
Yes.
So, it's actually quite an enjoyable game. Although I can see that, you know, it was really made to go on one of the newer Xboxes, because there's points where the game freezes up. It kind of, you know, you see the frame rate dropped from sort of like 60 to 2. And the sound cuts out and stuff like this.
From game to PowerPoint slide in a single easy move.
Yeah, that's it. So it's good, but you really need one of the new Xboxes to play this thing.
Oh, okay.
So I think this is the first sign.
This is the first sign that it's starting to show its age, your Xbox, then.
Yeah, I mean, it's done pretty well. I've had it for a good few years now, so you know, I've had good play out of this thing, but it's not ending yet. It's not the you know, we're not at the end of the original Xbox yet. There's still a little bit of life in the old bugger yet. So
well,
it's all
cool.
Good. It's all good.
All good.
And apart from that, I don't think there's anything else really.
Cool.
No.
Okie dokie.
That's about it.
That's about it. Okay.
Yes.
Well, my week. Basically, I've been desperately struggling to just get out of bed. I'm just finding myself just completely like, bleh. I can't do it. I've just my get up and go got up and fucked off. I mean, got up and gone. Sorry. So I've been struggling with that a little bit. But on the more sort of straightforward side, we started watching that WandaVision.
Yes.
Which is on Disney Plus.
Yep, I did too.
I don't know what to make of it right now. It's trying so hard to be to do the pastiche thing really accurately and drip feed plot points in that for those of you who don't know, basically it's just from the outside looking in, it's basically two characters from the Marvel universe, one who has died back in the films and one who hasn't, and they're in a 50s TV comedy show, black and white, much like Bewitched.
Okey-dokey.
And essentially, every now and again, there's sort of like the veil kind of drops very slightly, like instead of like just making jokes about someone's cooking or trying to hide the fact that one's a witch. You know, which because it's done exactly like Bewitched. You know, she sort of like waves her fingers, and then all of a sudden, like things clearly on pieces of string kind of float about. Suddenly, there's like a character will suddenly just start saying things like no, 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 and getting really kind of cross, and then suddenly all reality goes a bit zippy zap weird. It's a clever little mindfuck of a thing. Feels very David Lynch in some ways, but that said, they've only released 2 episodes so far, and and I think the plot itself of what's going on, it seems fairly basic to me. It just you go through like 30 minutes of like, haha, we're in a comedy show from the 1950s. And then every now and again you'll get like one tiny flicker of something which is clearly the plot arc. And it sort of something gets said, or something comes out of a TV, or something weird, really weird happens, or something appears that's in colour when they're all living in black and white. And you kind of go, oh, okay, here's the plot. And then it goes away again. And you kind of end up with like, I suppose, out of 2 episodes, which adds up to about an hour and change in story terms, you end up with like probably about a minute total of the whole thing adding up to actually the plot of what's going on. Would you agree with that, Dal?
I know where this is kind of going anyway.
I pretty much know where it's going but that's the problem, isn't it?
No, it's just because I've read like comics, so it's like I can tell what line they're following, and I think I know where this is all stemming from and what it is. I do like the fact that they do have these, they do the sitcom thing, and each one is a different sitcom. Somebody said the first one was I Love Lucy, and then the second episode is more Bewitched.
Bewitched, yeah.
Yeah, so, now it's going to progress on to the other ones, because you see it in the advert,
it looks more like Mork and Mindy, doesn't it?
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Or Happy Days.
Yeah.
And, the thing is, I've got a general idea of what's going on, because I am an old, lapsed comics nerd myself, but the problem is I'm sitting here in a room with, 2 kids who only know Marvel through the films, and a wife who barely pays attention to the films when she's not doing something else.
Yeah.
And so, they're all sitting there just looking at it going, what? And the problem is, I think it's too up its own arse with the idea to drop, and I think the actual reveal of what's going on is not going to be warranting the payoff. It's not going to be warranting the journey, shall we say, for those who are not initiated in the ways of this kind of weirdness.
Well, what's it supposed to be then? What's it trying to do?
You can't really say at the minute. It's a bit like, trying to explain Lost to someone, right? You know how that was, right? I mean, Elton, doing the podcast and everything else, being quite versed in it all. It's like someone saying to you, can you sum up Lost? And it's like, well, you can't sum up Lost, especially, in those first couple of episodes. It's, people handled that okay. There was mystery in that. People were like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is that? And people stayed to find out what the fuck it was all about, whether it made sense or not at the end.
I think the difference is with Lost, there was an ongoing plot and an ongoing story from the moment they crashed on the island. What's happening here, right? Just to give you a bit of background, Elton, Paul Bettany, who
already lost me.
Okay, fine. Paul Bettany is an actor married to Jennifer Connelly. He was in films like Knight's Tale and Gangster Number One and
I know. Yeah, Master and Commander.
Master and Commander. Yep, that's right. He plays a character that in the Avengers movies died, right?
Oh, he's the red dude.
That's right.
Yes,
The Vision.
The Vision.
The Vision. And the long and the short of it is that he was getting on really well with this lady played by Elizabeth Olsen, who's called the Scarlet Witch, who's got like a magic powers, right? That's really all you need to know. So all the Avengers movies happen, and that's where we've left it. But he's still dead. Now we cut to this TV show, the Disney show, and essentially it's literally started like you're watching a 1950s TV show. And it is her with him.
Yeah.
And they are playing sort of 50s versions of themselves, so he is still a robot pretending to be a man, and she is still a witch. But it's in the sort of, like as Darren says, the I Love Lucy bewitched kind of model.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't know really what this is all about.
Okay.
Only know that, you know, occasionally there's like chinks in the sort of armor of what's going on. So every now and again you'll be watching it for like 20 minutes and it's just like a, you know, typical hijinks, oh, the boss is coming to dinner kind of old 50s kind of plot. And then all of a sudden the boss gets just irrationally really cross at one question that neither of the main characters can actually answer, which is, where are you from?
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's literally the only bit in that entire film, in that entire episode, which is about 30 minutes long, which actually gives you a hint that something's going on until the very end.
There is
until the very end. There's the thing is, Dal. The thing is,
there's something else. There's a pattern forming over those two episodes.
Oh yeah. There's a pattern, but the pattern is visible to people who are looking for that particular thing. If you know what I mean.
No. You just have to think about it. It's always a certain thing that happens with people when they do a certain thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even say it without spoiling it. So
no.
They
okay. Well, let's put it this way. I think it's something to do with a symbol.
Oh, if it's the symbol that that is part of it.
Yeah,
but that's not the big deal in this. Okay. Right, this is not the big deal in this.
Okay, we'll talk about that off the air because. But the fact of the matter is, if I don't know what you're talking about, then I can guarantee you there are people out there who don't know what the fuck you're looking for.
It's happened twice, this thing, but you know, as you say, we'll talk about it.
But the point is that my point still remains that this is like the first major Marvel thing to come out since. Since Spider-Man, like nearly 2 years ago now, or a year ago, and essentially it's weird, it's interesting, but for the casual sort of viewer, I imagine, would be just like looking at this going, what the fuck is going on? And generally speaking, that's been the reaction in the Metcalf household. I mean, I'm still interested, I'm still going to watch it, I think I know where it's going already. But my problem is that I think they're putting too much into this pastiche thing, and whatever the payoff is going to be, it won't nearly justify the amount of shit you've waded through to get to it. Do you know what I mean? It would be like watching 7 seasons of Lost, only to have them go, oh, you know what, they're all dead. And you go, oh, was that it? And it'd be like, yeah. And you'd be like, oh, so I've wasted like nearly 140 hours of my life watching something which could have been solved in the first episode and made the rest of it redundant. And I get that feeling that that's what's going to happen here. You're going to get right to the end and they're going to go, ta-da, she wasn't really there, or it was all her fault, or something else like that. And it's just going to be like, everyone's going to go, yeah, and... But, I might be wrong. I hope I am, because it's an interesting, weird diversion from the sort of cookie-cutter Marvel stuff that everyone keeps.
Yeah, it's not fighting bad guy of the week or anything like this, or having having a major battle by the end of each episode.
Or fighting a million things.
Yeah, or fighting a villain that's got the same powers as the hero. Arrow, I'm looking at you. How many fucking archers? How many? How many?
How many people woke up in the morning and went, you know what, I'm going to learn archery and do evil?
Yeah. Oh, so many archers. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah. So, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see what it, I'm intrigued to see where it goes. But I'm wondering that it might turn out to be a bit of a damp fart of a conclusion. But we'll see. We'll see. So there was that. Away from the films and stuff, I've been playing Uncharted, and I finished that. Away from games which actually you just press a button and things happen. So that was a bit of a shocker and a step up. And I managed to finish Uncharted in a day. A single Sunday. I sat down on Sunday morning, and by Sunday evening I had finished it, and I was happy with my wash. I was quite happy, didn't get frustrated, I pulled the trigger, gun shot. I pulled the trigger again, gun shot. I didn't have to re-equip the gun.
Resisting to make comments.
Well, you can resist all you like. I didn't have to stop and fish for an hour.
Right. Okay. You would fucking love it if it was just a Mass Effect skin. You fucking would. Oh, hang on. No, there's a task here where I have to set the relay alarms. Okay, and I have to undo these screws. Great. You'd be sat there pulling up your little Todger as well while you did that. You'd be like, oh here we go.
Just wind him up and let him go.
I have to put the screwdriver. Oh, I've got a flathead screwdriver instead of a Phillips head screwdriver. I'll have to go back to the med bay to pick up the Phillips head screwdriver.
Elton, careful with the imagery, mate, because, we've all got to go to bed after this. And this is not the sort of thing we want to go to bed with, right? Okay, that's planted a seed, a suggestion, right? That's going to come back at some point when it's really inappropriate. I don't know, like sexy time, and then that will just pop in there, and then no more sexy time.
Yeah. Me
Jack in the carton beardy stalk.
The Mass Effect 4 cartoon beardy stalk. There you go. That's a T-shirt for you.
No.
As I said last time, Elton, if the controls were as shit as fucking Red Dead Redemption, I would probably get quite cross at it. That's why I don't play Andromeda. That's why I don't play Andromeda, my friend.
This is the best game ever.
How many Mass Effect games are there now?
I don't know. I don't really
4.
care.
No, you can't start that. You see, you can't uncork the fucking
really
genie and expect him to go back with. 4.
I don't care. I don't
many
care
do
for
I-
Mass Effect. It doesn't exist.
Well, that's good. That's good. More for me. Anyway, so
No, it doesn't work like that. I'm afraid.
Yes, it does.
You
It does.
don't get more.
Oh, I'm not listening now.
You don't
I
get
don't care.
more.
Oh, I can't hear you. I'm sorry. Oh, it's
You
all
can
quiet.
turn me down
Sorry,
as
you're
much as you
you're
want.
breaking up. Hold on. It's not working. I don't hear it.
Oh, he's going through a tunnel now, isn't he?
Oh no! What's that? Who's the? Yeah. Sorry. Is that Sam? Sam, hold on. I've got to get Derek Acora to come and see if we can tune back into Elton. Hold on a sec.
God, I'm going to dream about Metcalf having an angry wank in a doorway now, aren't I? This is just fucking hell.
It's all you need.
Oh.
There you go. I don't know why I was in the doorway, but
Nor do I. This is it. My brain's already piecing. It's already building the holodeck.
Darren, was he going into the room or coming out of the room?
Yeah. Which room was I in?
Hello, Picard 7.
Angry wank
I'm
doorway
at
simulation.
A.
No. My eyes, the goggles, they do nothing. Well, anyway. Yeah, so, anyway. I
Same
only
time
play
next
3.
week, Ian? Yeah.
Same time next week, yeah. I only play 3 out of the 4, so there you go. And, yeah, so apart from that, the only other thing I've been doing, well, I haven't been doing, the girls have basically... after the Doctor Who New Year's episode, which frankly was about as entertaining as a colonoscopy, basically, the girls have taken it upon themselves to binge watch pretty much everything on iPlayer. And they have managed to do 4 years, since the beginning of the Eccleston series, in about a fortnight.
Wow.
So the household is currently blasting through all the sort of Eccleston and Tennant stuff. And it's just sort of like 3 episodes an evening. It's just like fucking hell. So we'll be on Matt Smith by probably Thursday, I imagine. And other than that, there was another game, but I won't bore people with it because it just doesn't deserve time on its life. But if anyone thinks about Ark Evolved, thinks about playing that because it looks like Skyrim with dinosaurs, don't, because it's shit. That's all I've got to say about that. What else? There was something else. I was going to say something else. Can't remember now. Oh yeah, Red Dead Redemption is shit. Anyway, yeah. So let's move on to some feedback. And we watched Stan and Ollie last week, and we didn't get much in the way of feedback on Stan and Ollie, but except for one from Martin Thompson, who wrote in to say, regarding the humour versus nostalgia discussion that we were having at the end of last week's episode, when we were saying, are we laughing at it or are we laughing with memories of it? If you know what I mean, did we find it really that humorous? And Martin says, regarding the humour versus nostalgia thing, I've never watched Laurel and Hardy films growing up, but I did see the Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and I did have a laugh at some of the routines, like the one in the hotel and the double door one on the stage. So, basically, he was saying, he agreed, it is humour. It is genuinely funny stuff. And not just what I was trying to allude to, which was that we were all smiling and laughing at it because, you know what? Hey, amazing. We remember all these things. I remembered a thing and it was good. Also, David Renane, Happy Dave over in New Zealand land, the land of the Ewok, sent in his link for the episode with Jim on it. The Scream and Scream Again for... Where was it? Where Eagles Dare episode?
Yes.
Yep. And the link is, just so everyone knows, is Sofageddon. That's SOFAGEDDON .wordpress.com. Other than that, the feedback for Stan and Ollie was generally people just being very happy about it, and liking it, and liking it before we'd watched it. And lastly, I will say that we got one back from Maniac Cop, who I won't read out his email, but essentially he wrote in to say that, as I suspected, that because I'd read his email out last week, sort of verbatim, I made him sound like a complete nutter. But that's because my reading and comprehension and narration skills are shite. So if anyone thinks he's a nutter, just remember that he is. No, I mean, just remember that it was all my fault. So there you go. And yes, if anybody else has any feedback they want to send in, either for this episode or ones that we've done before, do join up with the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast, or hit us up on Twitter, because I have actually been posting on there, and that's at Black Dog Podcast, or send in a feedback email to feedback@blackdogpodcast, or just go on the actual group, the webpage, and send us a link through the contact us page, which is obviously blackdogpodcast.com. Whew, blimey, O'Reilly. We haven't even got to the bloody review yet. We've already had a fight. We've already had a fight. We've had a row. I've said the link about 72 times. I've apologised for one other thing. Oh, we've had dogs. We've had games. We've had everything. You name it. So, yes, let's take a break. Let's roll the jingle, and then let's get into this week's movie, which is Eddie the Eagle.
I see it's nearly 5 o'clock. I'm here at home, my work's all done. No question where I'll be tonight, a place of cinematic fun. It's the lockdown, but I will not pout. Oh, my friends, I won't be seeing this out alone. There's Lee and Elton and Jim and Darren, all sitting far apart for social distance. We're at the shut-in cinema, down in the bunker of shun. Down in the bunker of shun.
Hey fellas, it's been nearly 5 years. You gonna let me out now or what?
Right, Eddie the Eagle is a 2016 biographical sports film directed by Dexter Fletcher. Yes, that one. Who also directed Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocket Man. And what's the Proclaimers one as well? I can't remember the Proclaimers movie.
Proclaimers movie?
Yeah. Yeah, there's
what, as in,
a Proclaimers musical.
When I go out,
yes,
well, I know I'm gonna be.
I'm gonna be. Yeah, it's Sunshine on Leith. There you go, Sunshine on Leith. So yes, Rocket Man, Bohemian Rhapsody, Eddie the Eagle, and Sunshine on Leith. And yes, back to this film. It stars Taron Egerton as Eddie, a British skier who in 1988 became the first competitor to represent Great Britain in the Olympic ski jumping since 1928. It also stars Hugh Jackman and Christopher Walken and Jim Broadbent and Iris Berben. The film had its world premiere in 2016 Sundance and was released in January 2016, 26th of January, in fact. So it's almost 5 years old to the day, in fact. The film was generally receiving positive reviews in 2017. It was nominated for an Empire Award as Best British Film. But it had a budget of $23 million. And how much did it make at the box office, Jim?
75 million.
Okie dokie. Darren?
I'd say about 80.
Okay. And Elton?
70 metres.
70 metres. Nice. Nice. He saw the chance, he saw the opportunity, and he went for it instead of the others getting in first. Nice. Well, it actually made at the box office only $46 million, which isn't a failure, but it's just not as high as I think it should be. Anyway, it should tell you a lot. So before we go forward and start discussing it, let's get on with doing that little top line round table bit. So we'll do you last, Jim, because it was your choice. Mm-hmm. So what did you think of it, Elton?
It was good.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's my top line. That's my headline. There you go.
Okay.
It was good.
Okie dokie. And Darren?
I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Cheered me up knowing that film. It really did.
Okay. Cool. And for myself, I took a bit of convincing. I felt it was a bit schmaltzy in places, but by the end of it, I was well invested and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, Jim?
Yesterday I needed a win, and this film was it.
Yeah, there you go. So there you go. So, okay, well, that's top line. Everyone can just hang up and move on now. But anyway, our chat goes on. So, okay, so how many of us had actually seen this film before yesterday? Or knew the story, shall we say? Let's put it that way. Anyone?
I'd heard of Eddie the Eagle,
Mm.
and I kind of knew of his exploits. Well, you kind of get the gist of what was going on, but not because I followed his career or anything like that. Jeez. But I hadn't seen the film before this.
Right. Okay. But yes, but you still knew about him rather than knew. Okay. And Darren?
Well, I knew of him anyway. I mean, I'd seen when the Olympics was on was it the 1988 one, wasn't it? That's it. I remember seeing him and what he was doing there at the time, the reports coming in about him and that. Never really knew more about him than that, really. I didn't actually watch him in any events, but I've certainly got a better idea of him now after watching this film.
Okay. Jim?
Well, I remember that fateful Winter Olympics and sort of the buzz about him, as it were. And I wanted to see the film for ages because I thought, that could be interesting. And it's just never got round to it. But as we seem to be on a biopic trip and that he was on Amazon, I thought, let's give that a go. And it wasn't quite what I expected, but that was good.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm in the same sort of boat. I kind of knew about him sort of obliquely through the newspapers and whatnot and through the news reports, but I don't really watch the Olympics, to be perfectly frank. So yeah, it was only sort of like that I knew he was kind of some kind of, typical sort of everyone's going plucky British spirit, even though what it really means is he's a fucking failure. But hey ho, at least we're trying, sort of the thing. Lots of people shouting Dunkirk spirit as he basically flies over the fucking 18th row into the fence. So yeah, I mean, I guess let's start with just the film itself. I mean, how did you find the film? I mean, because one thing that's always come up all the way through all of these true story films for me, has always been the, it barrels along, it tells the story it wants to tell, but it doesn't go far enough in certain places. This film seems to feel very stylized, very sort of like it's making a sports movie, and sort of all the sort of heroic beats for someone who isn't essentially isn't much more than a sort of like a curio. How did you feel about that? The film itself, was it too stylized? Did you want more out of it? Did you want some information, or were you quite happy to go with this kind of schmaltzy kind of you can do it kind of thing?
I think it was more Eddie himself that that was the thing that made the film for me. It wasn't so much everyone else's reaction to him, but it was the fact that he'd had this dream of being an athlete all this time, and just at the point where he was about to give up, after all those years of his dad grinding him down, oh yeah, come and be a plasterer, son, and it's like just that will he had to keep going on. That's the thing that I liked about the film.
Yeah.
And he's just his, what then became this unstoppable, literally almost unstoppable force of him. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it done. And, to see everyone in it, of course, joining in at the end, that's a little sprinkling on the top of the cake for me. But it was mainly more Taron Egerton's performance, the way he played him, the way he did that, and it's that one bit where he's sitting in the he's sitting there with the reporters. He calls the press conference, and he just looks at them and says, "Look, I'm not joking around. I take ski jumping really seriously," and it's like, okay, yep, I believe you. It's that 1 minute when he stopped playing to the crowd, and he was deadly serious about what he was doing. I liked that. That got me as well.
Yeah. So you didn't find him a comedic kind of character at all?
No, actually, I thought, it's all him trying. That's it. He got, when you think about it, the guy got It's right what Hugh Jackman says to him about the fact that I've known people that have been doing this for years, and you've got more drive than they have. He went in just a year from being completely fucking useless to actually getting somewhere. He might not have won, but he didn't die by the end of it. He was on it. He landed on his feet. And that was it. And it's just they're going, oh, you have, that you started 6 years old to be a ski jumper, and he started late in life, considering. I mean, how many other people can say they start late in life, Anakin Skywalker, and, be successful at something, Anakin Skywalker. So, he was more successful than Anakin Skywalker. It
wow.
could have been,
that's a quote. That's a quote for the poster, isn't it? Eddie the Eagle, more successful than Anakin Skywalker.
If I ever get to meet Eddie the Eagle Edwards, I will say to him, you were more successful than Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, well, and you would not be wrong.
He started late, and, it soured him. You started late, and you just remained...
You didn't kill any kids.
Exactly. You didn't go into any villages of people who were, like burns victims wearing lots of bandages, and slaughter them and their children. And their
I think it's an amazing achievement. Well done, Eddie. You did not slaughter a load of indigenous natives. No, well done.
Exactly.
I think it's good.
Eddie the Eagle Edwards, more successful than Anakin Skywalker. There you go.
Well, I think that's it. I think we can all pack up and go home now. Everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, okay then. I mean, what about you guys? I mean, did you feel he was anything other than just a comedic character, or did you get more out of it than that? Or
well, I always had the impression from my memories of him at the time is that plucky lad, he had a go. But typically British was crap. He was kind of a cross between Timmy Mallet and the third long-lost Chuckle brother. And, we kind of... So, like Jedward and the Cheeky Girls, they're kind of these failures we embrace for a time and lift up, and, we're all crap. And, that's part of being British, laughing at ourselves, and we almost do this sort of thing subversively. But I think, and I expected kind of a film that was going to go into that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that he would be a figure of fun. But while he's clearly got a screw loose, as Hugh Jackman said, anyone doing ski jumping has a fucking screw loose. You've got to be a madman to do it. And I think what this film brought home was kind of, actually, this guy really did fucking achieve something. Ski jumping is insane.
Yeah,
it is completely insane.
Bonkers.
And what he did against all the odds and off his own back was phenomenal. I mean, I looked at him afterwards. I mean, he set a British record that stood up until I think 2015. I mean, we don't have a great winter sports tradition in this country, but that's a good achievement, having a record stand that long.
Yeah,
and it is actually true. After his thing, the Olympic Committee did set up what they call the Eddie the Eagle rule, where they could exclude people, proper amateurs, having a go. So all those cunts can get fucked as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But this really, it brought back kind of the spirit of kind of what the Olympic is supposed to be about. It is supposed to be for amateurs, but it's not. It's hothouse kids who were abused and groomed, and everyone's on more drugs than... I mean, people say the world of rock stars is depraved. Fucking hell, athletic. It's a fucking sewer. They will change nationality, gender, age, body chemistry, the law, anything to get a win. They don't give a fuck. And it's surprising there aren't many old athletes. A lot of old rock stars who are smackheads and cokeheads still going strong. Athletes tend to drop dead in their 40s. But you know what I mean? It's kind of... this isn't what it's supposed to be about. Winning by essentially fucking cheating your asses off at great personal cost and grinding people up. And I think this film, it really actually lifted the lid on that. It showed, you start at the age 6, really? You're supposed to be an amateur. At the age 6, hang on. Yeah. This is professionalism in all but name. It's a sham.
Yeah, I did find that. I did find that I was kind of like initially thinking, oh, look, you got the Tim McInnery kind of character doing the snobby kind of, you're not one of us kind of thing. But by the end, I was thinking, hang on, so this is all just a big money-making con. None of this, nations together kind of bollocks. It's just,
it's been utterly corrupted and has been for quite a while.
It's a business.
It is.
Yeah. And
FIFA was like that as well, wasn't it?
Still is. Yes, yeah.
Sorry, Jim.
But I thought that there was an edge to this film I didn't expect to find, and it made me. I say I know little about skiing and ski jumping. I have watched ski jumping in the past because it is kind of like, those people are mental. But I think this really, the way Dexter Fletcher told it and shot it. I mean, yes, it was very sort of stylized and cartoony, but at the same time, you suddenly realised how high those jumps are, how dangerous it is.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like all right, you're not the third Chuckle Brother, Eddie. You are a genuine fucking hero because my God, you have got such balls, man.
I was, yeah. I mean, I don't know about how the rest of you guys felt about it, but I have to say that was the moment which won me over. I think the minute you see the first, was it the 15-meter one?
Yeah.
And when you see it in the sort of from the ground looking up, it doesn't seem such a big deal. It just looks like a very big slide.
I love his line. There we go. That was easier than I thought. Better go for the 70-meter.
Exactly.
What? Oh, the 40-meter. That's
40-meter. That's it. I have to say, I looked at it and I thought, and they do that bit where the camera comes up and over the shoulder, and I just thought, oh no, my old arse just went.
Yep.
I was in proper chocolate anus moment. I was sorry, a green room conversation that is.
I was going to say nobody knows about
nobody
that.
knows what we're talking about there. No, don't worry, I'll put it in the Facebook.
Go.
Yeah, I will. No, not my chocolate anus. Stop it. Anyway, so. And I was just like, oh no, there's no way I would even consider that. I literally got sweaty palms just watching it. And I was like, oh God almighty. Yeah. And then when he went, 40 metres, I'm like, no way. No. And then by the time he got to the 90 metre by the end, I was like, fuck that. Yeah, just fuck that right off.
You thought diving boards were high.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's I get the sweats when I watch that, when they do the diving boards from the top board and they do the camera up on the top looking down into the pool, and you think, yeah, that's water, but that's going to feel like a brick when you hit that.
Did anybody like the Hugh Jackman superhero moment? That when he goes up, he gets drunk and it does was it the 90 metres?
Yeah, with the Wolverine sort of cigar chomping, flick it away as he does it. Yeah,
that was really cool. Doing it in his jeans as well. That was amazing.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
not sport if you can't do any jeans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sounds very sort of like straightforward, sort of British kind of attitude with that sort of thing, isn't it? Yeah, if you can't,
you didn't bring up that kit, do it in your pants.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is that. Do it in your pants. If you can't do it in your pants, then you might as well go home. Just, what? Yeah. How about you, Elton? I mean, you say you were just like kind of like it was good. I mean, is that it, or did you have any actual thoughts about it? I'm not putting you on the spot taking the piss, but I'm just saying,
no, cool.
Was there?
I did enjoy it. I was entertained all the way through. I think there was a couple of niggly bits with me as well. As with every single sports film, there's a montage.
Yeah.
And there has to be a montage. But this one was good. It worked really well. and you saw the development of Eddie the Eagle. I'm just wondering whether is he an unintentional comedic person or a cartoon character? It seemed. I think he came across as unintentional, and in this film it portrayed him as he didn't really mean to be like that. It was just a reaction. He had so much fun once he actually did the jump that because everyone was like, oh, that's a crap jump. But as soon as they realised that he was so impressed and was like over the moon that he got that distance, everyone fell in love with him for that. So that is an unintentional consequence of actually being crap. And I don't think he was crap. As you guys have said, that takes balls to do that. To do even the small one, that takes balls. And then to go out onto the mega one, that's crazy days. The actual film itself, I thought it was good. I enjoyed everyone's performance in it. Like the villain with the Tim
McInnery,
McInnery, that's it.
Yeah,
yes.
he's in. He's mainly seen. I think most people remember him from Blackadder as Lord Percy.
That's it. Yeah, that's where I remember him from. Yeah, the bad, kind of the bad guy there. I thought, it didn't really strike a chord with me though. That's the only thing. Eddie the Eagle is never a person that I've been fascinated in. I've never wondered what his motivation was behind it.
Yeah.
And as you said in previous episodes on these, like with Straight Outta Compton and Stan and Ollie, this hasn't made me want to go back and find out. It hasn't lit that torch that makes me want to go back and watch his jumps or watch the actual YouTube videos of it. I haven't done that at all. I think I was quite content in what I saw here. The niggles I had were just a couple of the shots I didn't really like. And as you guys have said, it was very cartoonish in certain aspects. And they were when he was going down the ramps and it was a face-on, almost like a GoPro view. I think if it was a GoPro view, it would have added a bit more. But this was just a blue screen behind him tracking, and it just that took me out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
If anything, I enjoyed the Hugh Jackman going down the side, flicking the cigarette. That worked for me really well. I thought that was like his superhero moment. That was beautiful. But then when you got just the faces coming down it, apart from the very last one, which worked, and once he got his tash, he kind of went into full Eddie the Eagle that we know and love. And that was the kind of moment where I was like, okay, I'm on board now. But I enjoyed it. I was on board, but I had no interest in the man. Which I think makes a massive difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's probably the criticism I would have laid at it, which is, the one I always come back to with these films, which is you kind of the film kind of does one of two things. It either assumes you know everything about him and you just or about them, whoever the subject matter is, and will just go with it, knowing all the details and filling in the blanks, or it goes, you don't understand anything, so we're only going to show you the bits that we want you to see, so you don't get that sort of I mean, it's that montage at the beginning with him coming out of the leg braces, and suddenly he wants to be an Olympic champion, and it's like, well, where did that come from? That whole bit of Mum, I'm leaving, I'm going to be an Olympian, and then
that
he's
was
standing
from the
at
book, wasn't it?
Yeah, but again, it's like it's the one thing I think where at first I was very anti the film, because it just it seemed to assume that it was going to be like nice, simple, straightforward, and you're just going to accept it. It's like, yep, it's a story about a boy who wants to become an Olympian, who does, it's got all the old sort of tropes. He does a montage, he finds a grizzled old teacher who helps him out, and then he succeeds and everyone loves him. Hooray! Close credits. So at that point, I was kind of thinking, oh no, oh no, this is going to be, Rocky on skis, or, it's going to be, all the old beats, all the old...
That story again.
Yeah. Exactly. And it was, I think the thing where it kind of won me over, I guess, and was when I realised that it wasn't really... It was telling a fanciful, stylized version of the story, I guess, because the bit where I kind of was like, okay, you know what, I'm just going to go with this, because it didn't draw any drama out of some really key things, like when his mum and dad are sitting around the table going, we've got no more money, we've already wasted all our money on getting you into the ski lessons, and the ski lessons didn't go anywhere. And didn't amount to much, and now we are fucking skint. Your mum is doing like so many hours at some job, and I'm having to do every hour God sends being a plasterer. And then 5 seconds later, he's like, I'm just nicking the van. And he's just like, and he fucks off. And you're like, now, if that was a different film with a different filmmaker, you would have had a massive issue there of like, what what an absolute arsehole. He's literally skinted his parents and then he's nicked their fucking car. And skinted his dad in the process because his dad's a plasterer who needs the van. But the film kind of goes, no, fairy tale. It's all about inspiration. Look, here he is. He's doing it. He's just getting on and doing it. Yay, cheer for him.
Pursuing your dreams.
Exactly. And as soon as he did that, I was like, right, okay, fine. We're not in real world land. No matter how close to the real world the story might be, there are gaps and spiky bits and some real darkness stuff that's being completely overrode just to get the kind of, triumph of the little man kind of story. And, fair play to it. Once it sort of laid its stall out, that's what it was going to be. I was just like, yeah, fine, whatever. It's a Sunday afternoon film. Just sit back and watch it.
Yeah, but I would imagine Eddie the Eagle telling his story like that. Because he comes across as he's set his mind at things. He wants to get there. And some of the barriers thrown up in front of him, he doesn't quite recognise.
Yeah, but that comes from people that, I mean, again, it's the same deal as, like I say, like the Rocky stories and all the other myriad sort of sports stories. The man says no, but the hero says I don't care, and just carries on. That sort of bullheadedness that makes the hero. You can almost hear the studio execs being sold the pitch. Yes, he failed, but he won at failing, and he made something of himself, and it's can-do attitude, it's plucky Dunkirk spirit, you can see all of that stuff coming out, and being used to just literally just paper over everything, like, you skinted your parents, you nicked their car, you've fucking probably ruined your dad, where did you get all that money from? Where did he get the money from for the skis? Skis are not cheap,
No, that's right.
And all the dark bits, even just like nicking all the stuff out of the lost and found. And, that's funny. You go, that's funny. Oh, bless him. Look, he's got someone else's clothes on. That's how he's done it. But, he just fell into a job at working at a pub, and he just fell into a job, working with a strangely sexually active lady who was about to sort of do all sorts of naughties with him.
He did.
Yeah, he did. And it's just like, okay, but we can make him look innocent and cool, even though he's being, by his naivety, it's his innocence that's driving him forward. He stays pure. Do you know what I mean? It all just felt a little too packaged. But that said, if you accept that and you understand it and you go, right, okay, fine, it's not going to go into a big in-depth fucking 3-hour epic about his parents trying to raise money for a first pair of skis, on a plasterer's budget, but it's actually just about the plucky underdog, winning, then you go, yeah, fine, you know what? It's as good as a Disney movie at this point. I'm going to sit back, put my feet up, have a cup of tea, and I will just be along for the ride, entertain me movie.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
I remember him being on TV lots, like Record Breakers and stuff like that, constantly.
Yeah.
And he was one of these guys that if you liked him, then that's fine. But if he jarred you a little bit, then that was it. You couldn't stand it. And I remember as a kid, I think he jarred me.
Yeah.
I think not that in a bad way. It was just like, oh God, not him again. And then you had
I know what you mean, because the real Eddie Edwards, I do remember him being everywhere, as you say, and it was always going, oh God, stop it. He's embarrassing. He's a loser, really. Stop it.
Yeah.
But so this film has really radically changed my opinion on the man. You know what I mean? Kind of, yeah, he played up to all the celeb stuff, but you got to cash in, while you can on something like this. And,
yeah.
Fair play to him.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do it? It'd be a great laugh.
Exactly. I mean, that's the other question, I guess, is whether or not, how can I put it? Whether or not the film's exploiting him, if you know what I mean, by kind of really driving home that sort of like childlike innocence thing, or whether or not, by almost showing that he's got some kind of, as you say, got some kind of screw loose. And but it's a charming, man-child kind of thing going on. Because I can't, you never get to know the man beyond what the film shows you, and it is just that kind of, hey, if we told him to go stand on a roof and jump off because he'd be famous for 5 minutes, he would. You get that kind of weird sense, that he could be easily exploited, as that guy does with the drinks. The cursed drinks thing, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just made me feel a little uncomfortable. I just didn't know whether or not, because it was getting dangerously close to basically saying that he was had some kind of mental issue, effectively, at one point. And I'm just thinking, okay, we're gonna go down that route, are we? And then, rather than just someone who's just eager to do it, but But on the other hand, as you say, Jim, as soon as you see over his shoulder on the 15 meters, you're like, yeah, well, fucking hats off to you, mate. Good luck, good luck to you. Fair enough. I'm interested. I'm interested to see how he moved on after that performance, but you never really get one of those sort of title cards that goes, Eddie went on to blah blah blah.
Jump over 6 buses.
Yeah, exactly. He wrestled a bear or something in a tumble dryer for charity and died, or I don't know.
He won Splash. He went on to Splash, didn't he? And won that.
What? Daryl Hannah?
No. The TV show. Do you remember the TV show where they were just doing diving?
Right.
And he won that series, the first one.
Hold on, diving.
Yeah, it was ITV. It was called Splash, and they had to do diving off like the top boards.
It was basically Strictly Come Diving.
Yeah.
And again, you can almost hear that being said. You can almost hear that being said in the pitch. Right. Wow. Okay. So, okay. So you just jump off a diving board?
Yeah.
Right.
You do your little twirls and pikes and touch your toes.
And touch your toes.
Easy.
Hang on, we back in that sauna with all those Swedish guys again.
We're back in the showers.
Back in the showers with those.
In the foot bath.
Yeah. Okay, I'm looking now at Splash, and I'm looking at who took part, And yeah, okay, fine. I think I've got the general gist of that. Fine. Yeah, if anybody else wants to look it up, Splash series, British Splash with an exclamation mark, Splash on Wikipedia will tell you all you need to know.
Yeah.
So okay then. So what did you enjoy? What didn't you enjoy in the film? Let's just get down to brass tacks, really. I mean, because we can go on and on about how accurate it is and whatever. Because I've heard that Hugh Jackman's character is actually an amalgam of 3 characters.
Oh, is he?
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. So, don't know how accurate it is.
No wonder his jeans were tight.
Nice.
I didn't know that. Sometimes I wonder why films do that. I suppose it is
it's just to simplify the storytelling, really.
Yeah, I mean, I am saying this because not like because I knew, but because I have looked it up since. But yeah, he's an amalgam of the guy who did train him, and a couple of other basically the people around that ski jump where he was training.
Right.
So a sort of combo. It was created especially for the film.
Well, what did I did enjoy Hugh Jackman. I enjoyed Darren as well, playing Eddie. I thought that was really good. I don't know if it was his mannerisms, but sometimes he'd drift out of his mannerisms ever so slightly. And there was a couple of times where it's not quite... He's not given me the Eddie that I see in my head.
Yeah.
But I think that all disappeared once he did end up with his bum fluff. But that really did change the character for me. That little moustache, I don't know why it changed it or anything like that, but it just... That really made it for me. That was like, okay, right, now we're in the world of Eddie the Eagle. And, I liked all the Swedish... I think I liked most of it. It was just a couple of little nitpicks and the actual man itself that I didn't quite grasp. I suppose you had all the normal pitfalls of, you've hit rock bottom and now you have to work your way back up again, etc. But... That is every single sports film, isn't it?
Yeah, well, exactly. That's part of the problem, isn't it? It was just every single sports film. It was the characters that carried it. What about you? What about you guys, Jim, Darren?
I was really. I kind of liked the the approach they took. Where you go, oh yeah, I know the soft soaping this, but I thought they had that bit of grit to it that I found particularly interesting. And I say it did make me reconsider my opinions of him.
Yeah.
Of the man himself and think, you know what, yeah, he came last, but he fucking set a British record. And he did it, off his own bloody back. Which is, it takes... that just to do that takes balls itself, never mind the actual... And to do ski jumping.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of... By the end, I thought, you know what? I always considered it being kind of like the third Chuckle brother, and he kind of he went on this sort of idiotic mission to do, to be an Olympian. He was going to fail, but he got there, and we all cheered and went, "Yeah, great, great British loser." But this film, I thought, you know what? If you just wanted the fame and to be an Olympian at any cost, there's tons of Olympic sports which are fucking weak sauce bullshit and easy. Ski jumping is probably the most mental one you could pick, bar the skeleton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's top tier, dangerous. It's not just skating round and round in a funny hat and hoping people fall over and crap like that, the speed skating and some of the other shite. You know what I mean? Even ordinary skiing, it's absolute, for fucking pussies compared to the insanity of a 90-metre ski jump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of and I thought, no, there's something more to this. And I really enjoyed that kind of surprise, that sort of element of surprise to it. You know what I mean? Because that sort of lifted it out of the normal sports movie cliches.
Yeah.
It just gave it that sort of spin that made it different rather than just hitting all the beats you expect.
Yeah.
And I did have when he got the moustache, I'd have this weird thing going, there's Eddie the Eagle and Hugh Jackman. I go, that's not Eddie the Eagle, that's Darren Eagleton, you moron. But you know what I mean? I kind of found it I was so completely sold. And I just, he's go, oh, no, he's playing a role, you know what I mean? And that's good acting, because Terry Eagle he's a good actor and he's fairly well known in his own right, if you know what I mean. And that's always tough, I think, for an actor, like him to be able to disappear into the role, like Coogan and Riley did with Stan and Ollie.
Yeah.
And he pulled it off,
You're right there, Dal?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I'm just listening to. I'm just listening to Jim there.
Sorry, it just sounded like you kind of like. Oh, it sounded like you were having a bit of a problem.
No.
Okay. No. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree. I think the performances were tippity top. I don't think there's a bad one amongst them. Yeah, it does soft soap it, but you got to just, I suppose you just got to accept that, I guess. But yeah, the thing that was the eye opener for me was definitely the actual, fuck me, look at that jump. I don't think I will be. I don't think I'll be doing that in a hurry.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I am surprised they got a movie out of this.
Yeah,
when I heard that there was a film about Eddie the Eagle, I thought, I don't think I'll ever watch that.
Yeah,
it doesn't really appeal to me. Guy was a bit jarring when I remember him, and I haven't seen him for like 20, 30 odd years, so I'm quite happy with that. But it just doesn't seem to be like the natural film to make. Because it is, okay, he goes jumping, and then he comes last, but everyone's happy with that, and he seems happy with it. End of film.
Yeah.
There's not a lot, there's no real trials or tribulations about it, but I suppose if you really whittle your way down into the little kickbacks that he has, because he does have kickbacks from his father, and then when he goes to Germany, and even the kickbacks from the British Skiing Federation, whatever the fuck I don't know. They're the British Skiing Federation now. From them lot, and then once he actually turns up at the slopes, he still gets kicked down and down and down, but he still works his way through that. There is that story there, but really? They made a film about this? But yeah, it does work in its own little way, I suppose.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the beauties about him, really. It goes back to, Jim's rather passionate speech about how corrupt the whole Olympics thing is, right? What's refreshing about Eddie is even though he didn't care that everyone else came, got there in front of him, he was just happy that he actually beat that mark. You see it when he comes in last, and then he's fucking jumping up and down, dancing like at the end when Hugh Jackman runs out, and they're both fucking celebrating that he's beaten a personal best, not that he's beaten Franz Dudar from wherever, right? That he's just made it. He's got somewhere. He's improved to that point. That he just the fact that he's beat the mark. Not that he's that he's super famous or anything like this, that he's the greatest. He gets a po-faced about it, and it's like, fucking hell, mate, even coming last, you've achieved something here. He realises that. It's the love of it that is so apparent.
Yeah, it comes down to that moment that's in the lift.
Yeah,
with
when he
that
talks to
other
that
guy, with the flying fin. Yeah. And that's kind of the key to the whole thing, I think. That's almost the pitch document right there. It's not that he comes last or he comes first. It's the fact that he does it and does his best.
Yeah.
And, that's almost like the message right there. I mean, it's pretty blunt and in your face with it. But you, by that point, like I say, as Jim said, you soft soap it, but you're along for the ride because there's so much to admire with the ski jumping and just the bravery of doing it. But yeah, I thought that sort of side of things was really cool. You know, that he's not doing it to win. He's doing it to prove to himself that he can do it and that he's going to do it well, or do it as good as he can.
Yeah, it's like waiting when Hugh Jackman says to him, "Oh, you know, if you wait another 5 years, you could be really, really good at this. You know, you can really, really make a difference." And he's like, "But I don't want to wait 5 years. I just want to get out there and I want to compete. You know, that's it. I want to get in there and do it. I mean, by the time it comes around to 5 years, they could move the goalposts again, and they did by the end of it.
Yeah.
In a major way, just showing them all what a bunch of fucking charlatans they actually are.
Yeah, I wonder, in fact, how the Olympic Committee reacted to that once the film came out, because I would have thought that anything that kind of throws them into a bad light, unless they've got some real evidence behind them, you know, would probably get sued. And I don't recall ever hearing anything like that. So,
no, well, you see. It's I don't know. I suppose it's when you're accusing someone of something, you're the one that's got to prove that they were that bad. They haven't got to prove anything.
Yeah, but if that's the case, then they would have sued the film, wouldn't they? Well, the filmmakers for defamation of character.
Unless
I don't know.
they didn't have a leg to stand on.
Exactly.
This is it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
do you think? Well,
no, go on.
The story shows that he was working his way through. He wanted to become an Olympian in the very beginning. That was his goal. He didn't quite know what sport to go in though, because you see him go through like the little montage of doing the javelin and throwing stuff and lifting stuff, but his passion was to become an Olympian, but he hadn't worked out what sport it was. Now, do you think that is... Well, obviously he made it there, but it's because no one else was doing it. So is that the correct way of doing it for a person? You know, just take part of... What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say is...
Yes.
Going out of my head at the moment, but it doesn't feel quite right, because he was trying to be an Olympian, then he went into the Winter Olympics because he couldn't make it as a proper Olympian.
Yeah.
And so he's downgraded himself. And the character does downgrade himself until he finds something that no one else has done, and all I have to do is jump this, and then I'm through.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Is there much of an achievement in terms of achieving anything if you're just going for the only thing that nobody else has done to be number one in it?
That sounds much better than what I was trying to say. Yes.
Or, yeah, it's like, hey, I'm the only person who's done this. Okay, brilliant. So I'm the winner. Yay!
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then everyone cheers. And even then, he's not the best at that.
Well, there is another film which does kind of get a nod in this that is very similar in that aspect.
Go on.
And they do mention the Jamaican bobsled team who were there at the same time.
Cool Runnings.
Yes, because Cool Runnings, the premise kind of is the same, because the guy that starts the bobsleigh team, he was supposed to be a runner.
Yeah.
Right? And then he switches to being part of the bobsled team because, well, you know, he changes to the Winter Olympics from the summer one. It's very... The two stories are very, very similar in that aspect.
Yeah, so but that's the thing. Is it an achievement if you're just... I think that's what Elton's getting at, isn't it? Is it an achievement, really, if you're the only person taking part?
If you're the only person taking part.
And you've tried everything else and you realise you're absolutely bobbins at everything else.
Yeah.
And this
The
is
thing
the
is,
only
he wasn't a bad as a skier. I think he didn't get on the squad because his face didn't fit.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a case of I've tried everything else and this is the only thing left. He actually, as Jim's pointed out there, he did actually achieve something. That's the thing. So he wasn't crap at it.
It's not.
Yeah, he was a good skier. Yeah, you see that thing where he wins all those certificates and medals as a young lad,
yes.
and he'd found his sport.
Mm.
He went, and as I said, taking up ski jumping isn't the soft option.
Yeah.
No. It's like going from skateboarding to fucking, I'm now evil.
Rollerball.
Yeah, rollerball.
Yeah. I guess it's not to do him a disservice because it sounds like we're doing him down, but it's just more. I did take Elton's point there that if you're the it's like saying I'm the world's greatest backhanded writer with a crayon that's made of cheese. It's like okay, great, well done you. You're the only one.
But he wasn't the only one though. I mean, but
the point was that he was the only British one, wasn't he? That was kind of one
for a long while. I mean,
for a long while.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
The Jamaican bobsled team had never had a bobsled team before.
Well, yeah,
right. So you could say the same about them. But you don't because that's not.
But if I recall correctly, they actually won though, didn't they?
No, they didn't. They fail at the last boat because the thing goes over, and it's that whole thing of them picking up the bobsled and finishing the race by walking over the finish line with that thing on their shoulders.
Right, okay. Spoilers.
That's it's a historical event. It's
I'm joking.
The Titanic sunk. Oh, spoilers.
Motherfucker.
Yeah,
really?
Motherfucker.
I had money on that coming in at some point.
Yeah.
I just thought he was lost.
So I don't think you can. It's not a case of am I the greatest because nobody else took part. Other people took part. He wasn't the greatest at it, right? That's it. But he still achieved something.
Yeah, yeah. It's the goal rather than If he was the only one doing the sport, if they just said, "Oh yeah, we've only got one contestant from this is it. There's no other countries taking part, and it's just him," then I can see where we might have a bit of an issue there. But he went up against the best, and he still did something.
Well, he made his mark, didn't he?
He did, and he
At
did
the end
it
of the
all
day,
within a year.
can anyone name any other Olympic athletes from that Winter Olympics?
Apart from the Jamaican bobsled team.
No, you can't, can you?
Exactly, right? Because that's it. They made it was their story. It's the whole thing of. Do you know what? I think there's that phrase that the biggest act of heroism comes from a coward, right? That's it. You could. Right. That's the thing. If you're already brave enough, it's not a big act because you're already taking that step into. It's not a fearful thing for you. And this is what Eddie did. He went from being absolutely rubbish to being, still alive by the end of it.
Still alive.
He got that good in the year. He actually managed to make that jump. I couldn't do that.
No.
Exactly. Not that I'd want to, but if I gave it a try, I don't think I could do what he did.
I don't think I could do the 15, let alone any of the others.
Do you know what? I have trouble walking down staircases. So
that's your advancing age. That's different.
That is, yeah. But yeah, I think I don't know. I don't think it's got. He tried. He went up against the best. He didn't come first.
Yeah.
He was in one piece. He walked away from that with both legs.
He walked away.
Any landing you can walk away from is a good one.
Yeah. No argument there. Okay then. Well, any last thoughts on this? Because I've got beyond what I've already said. I ain't got an awful lot. I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it had fun. I thought it was a bit soft soapy, but that was kind of the aim of it, wasn't it? Really. Rather than to be any in-depth thing. Yeah. So anyone else got any thoughts left or anything to say?
It was a good light film, and I'll tell you what, it cheered me up no end watching that as well. Good. I came away from that actually feeling, I mean, personally, a lot happier
Yeah.
than I did.
Same here.
When I was watching it.
Yeah, my slight snidey bits about soft soaping aside, I did actually enjoy this a lot. I did have a lot of fun. I found myself smiling right through that whole dancing eagle bit as well. So yeah. What about you, Elton? Anything?
Maybe I've been a little bit hard in it. I don't know. These talks tend to soften me up on certain things, and it has on this. I did enjoy it. I thought it was good. I think I'm not too sure if it was the niggly bits that just took it away from me. But yeah, I suppose remembering it, it was good. It was a harmless hour and a half that I did. Looking back on it now, thinking about it, I was smiling through most of it. Yeah, so it's good.
Yeah, it's that whole thing, isn't it? It's the way you approach it in many ways. If you get told, this is a biopic, this is going to be about this person, and then you get essentially just a feel good, fun sports story, that has 99.9% basis of truth, but we know obviously little bits were tweaked, but or overlooked. Then you kind of, if you're coming at it expecting one thing, get another, then you can often be soured on it. And I think, like I say, if I'd maintained my attitude from the start when I started watching it compared to how I ended it, I probably would have disliked this film immensely. But like I say, got about 10 minutes in, and I was just like, okay, just go with it. And as soon as I did that, I had a great time. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's kind of how the movie takes you, and also in these cases with true stories, what you're expecting from it.
Yeah, I think so. I didn't know what to expect from it, but I got pleasantly surprised. And
cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Nice. Any other last thoughts, or shall we move on?
Let's find out what we're doing next week.
Okay.
Oh, good
Here we go.
Here we go.
So, yes, that was Eddie the Eagle. It is available on Amazon. It is worth a look, and like I say, just take it for what it is. I think you'll enjoy it. That's probably the best way to look at it. So yes, this week on Facebook and on the Twitter page, I found myself with 3 or 4 films, and I thought, each one of these, none of these I've seen, and all of them could be worth a look. They're interesting. They're telling true stories or adaptations of true stories. And I thought, well, you know what? I'll give it a go. And then I thought, no, I can't decide which one. And I thought I'd got ones that were fairly popular. So what I did was I thought, well, I know what I'll do. I'll ask our lovely listeners out there on Twitter and on Facebook, what's your favourite true story movie? Movie based on a true story, or a biopic even. And I was expecting like a couple of well-known ones to kind of float to the top and kind of make my decision easier. No, I ended up with a list about 30 long. So I was like, oh shit, I've actually made things worse. And so what I did was I whittled them down using a very interesting method called, I've never even heard of that, and it's not on Amazon, it's not on Netflix, and keep on going. Until eventually I ended up with a sort of reasonable list, which was still somewhere in the mid-20s. So I just randomly picked 13 by basically writing them on a list, sticking my finger on the list, and the ones where my finger landed, the 13 got included. And those 13 are now on a Battleships grid.
Ooh.
Yay!
Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
So we have a grid that is from A1 to J10, and there are individual squares rather than battleships, not 3 long or 5 long or whatever. Individual single squares. And on those squares are 13 different films. So you got about a 1 in 3 chance of hitting something, I reckon. 1 in 4. So, we're going to go round. Who would like to go first?
No.
Okay,
Not me.
fine.
Okay.
Jim. Oh, Darren, go for it. Darren's stepping up to the plate. Go on,
I'm
Darren. What's your
stepping up to the
first? What's
plate.
your first
So
pick?
What's the grid?
It's from A to J and from 1 to 10.
So A to J and then
Yep.
1 to 10.
1
yeah?
to 10. Yep.
1, 10. Right. Okay.
Go on.
So I'll go for A1.
A1 is a miss.
Thank fuck for that.
Jim, over to you, sir.
E5.
E5 is a miss.
Ooh.
Oh. Elton.
Oh, fuck.
Right. Yes, Elton. Yes.
Go on.
A8.
Yeah. A8 is a miss. Okay, Darren, over to you.
J3.
J3 is a miss. Bloody hellfire, you guys. Come on. Jim.
Just for fun boys out there, B5.
Oh.
B5. Oh, nice. But it's still a miss. Elton.
Oh, give over. Right, here
Come on.
we go.
Mm-hmm.
G4.
G4. Oh, for goodness fucking sake. It's a miss, Darren.
C7.
C7 is a fucking miss.
Have you put any films on here?
They're all single squares. That's the problem.
Oh.
There's so many of them. If I made them all 3 long, you would have hit about half a dozen by now. Jim, go for it.
F7.
F7. Oh, thank fuck, it's a hit. Right, okay.
At last.
At last.
But is it a hit, though? I mean,
Well.
the film itself, was it?
Well, the film is... Hold on, let me just consult my list. The film is a hit. It is on... What service? Let me get the bloody service up. It was on my phone. I had the service. Yes, the film is available on Amazon Prime. The film stars Daniel Bruhl and also stars Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, yes.
It is Ron Howard's Rush.
Yes.
The story of James Hunt and Niki Lauda doing flappy paddle, drivey round in circles things.
And when he shouts, he becomes Nicky even louder.
Yeah. Elton, guess what? It's a busman's holiday for you, mate.
It is, isn't it? Oh, man.
Oh, God. So, have any of us actually seen Rush?
Yes. Went to the cinema to watch that.
Okay. And what did you think of it? Because I have not seen it.
I think Chris Hemsworth is far too good looking for playing the role of James Hunt.
Okay.
But,
Oh, I don't know.
no, come on, mate. There's a world of difference there.
Okay. Let's just steady on. This feels like a conversation for next week.
Yeah.
No, my man's better looking.
Yes.
I really enjoyed the film.
Okay.
Again, it's a period that I knew very little about. People I knew very little about, apart from the whole thing of he was big when I was a kid. He was
Okay.
during the 70s. So James Hunt was one of those go-to sportsmen.
Yeah.
Bit like Pat Jennings. It's like these are the only
Fucking hell.
one of the few goalkeepers I know, and Trevor Brooking. That's it. It's like.
Wow. Oh, you just lost like 99.9% of the audience because I don't have a fucking clue who that is.
Bruno Brooks.
Bruno Brooks. Pat Sharp.
Patch up.
Okay. Cool. Jim, have you heard of this film? Have you seen it?
I've not seen it. A film I've wanted to see, just never got round to it for some reason. So
Okie dokie.
that's very
Cool.
welcome.
Yeah. And Elton, I take it you must have seen this.
No, it's rubbish. Utter cack.
You don't like it?
No, I do. I think it's brilliant.
You've never seen it?
I have seen it. I've reviewed it on Chunky Lab a little while ago. Well, years and years ago.
Years and years ago.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, you did? Yes, I remember now.
Yeah,
Oh,
years
hang on.
ago.
Right, okay, so that's fucked that then. Do we want to choose another one?
No, let's go for this one.
Cool, okay. Just out of interest, though, just what would you have picked next, Elton? What would have been your next battleship?
I think I was going to go for H.
Yeah.
9.
Oh, you just missed out on Zero Dark 30, mate.
Oh.
Anyway, there you go. So maybe we'll do that next time. So yes, we're doing Rush. We are going to do Rush. What I know about sports, Formula One racing, drive you round in circles thingies, you could write on the back of a postage stamp and still have space for your shopping list. So it's going to be an interesting one. I think this is going to be Elton's hosting day.
Oh, jeez.
Elton's guest host.
You don't want that.
I think we do, because I don't have a fucking clue about this at all. I don't even know what it's about apart from James Hunt and his name's a rhyming slang. So, anyway, so if anyone has any thoughts on Rush or on the film we've just watched, which was Eddie the Eagle, and you want to leave some feedback, by all means, go and drop it to us on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/The Black Dog Podcast. As ever, you need to be a member, so, send your membership in. I'll approve it within about 15 seconds, I reckon, unless you've got some crazy-ass name or you're trying to sell dog shampoo products, because that don't get through. And if you want to drop a message to us on Twitter, we're at Black Dog Podcast. And, that's about it, I guess. So, before we go, let's find out what's happening in Hypnagoria Land. Jim.
Well, I've literally just released 3 episodes.
Bloody hell.
On the main show, it is... No, let's take it from the top. On the reading show from the Great Library of Dreams, I have a reading of one of the original tellings of the story of Jack the Giant Killer. Mm-hmm. Which is considerably more violent than you might expect from something you consider to be a fairy tale, as these tend to be.
Yep.
On my Hypnagoria podcast, I'm actually delving into the history and the origins of where it all came from and the folklore and history behind it. Mm-hmm. And on Commentary Club, we're doing a commentary for the 1962 movie Jack the Giant Killer.
Nice. Will you also be doing the Ewan McGregor version?
Well, yes, this weekend I've got a second part on the history and origins, and then the third part will be looking at the movies, looking at the 62, the Bryan Singer version, and there's an Asylum one.
But of course there is. Of course there is. Lovely. And what about you, Elton? What's going on over at Shonky Lab, sir?
Shonky Lab, I'm recording this Friday. With Mr. Lee Harvey. He's making a return. I forget what we're doing, but that'll be out over the weekend. So keep your ears crossed for that. If you
crossed.
I don't know. I don't. And you can also catch me on Into the Expanse, where we're up to episode 3 of season 5. We've got episode 4 recorded. That's dropping Monday. And we're slowly working our way through that.
Okie dokie. Must get on and watch that. Cool. Darren, have you got anything to push while we're at it?
No.
When's your cooking channel? We want to see you blow up a lasagna.
The Galloping Gourmet, that's me. God, I remember that show.
Yeah, Galloping Gourmet.
The Galloping Gourmet.
Only if you haven't cooked it enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, off to the loo.
Galloping with the trots.
There you go.
Right, okay. I'm not going to bother promoting my Instagram and LARP page. I've done nothing since October, so fuck it. You'd only be looking at the same old shit you've been looking at for the last 5 months, so nah. And that's it. So we'll speak to you all next week. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Elton.
No problem.
And thank you, everyone, for listening. Stay safe, as ever. And, we'll see you all next week for Rush. That's about all I know about it. Until then, see you later. Tatty bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
there's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road is where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on.
Get out of the booth, Jack.
No, I like it in here.